If the Vikings were pulling boats with me, I would by far go down in history as the best Viking boat puller that ever lived.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the men all around the world who've proven they are the strongest around.
He was one of the people who showed humanity what a noble human machine could do.
Number 10. Eddie Hall. This British muscle man completed his first strongman competition in 2007. By 2011, he was placing first in the UK's Strongest Man competition, a title he would go on to win 6 years in a row. That's not the only contest he's impressed at, though.
Now there's double figures. This is unbelievable.
In 2017, he notably won Britain's Strongest Man as well as the highly coveted World's Strongest Man title. The latter event saw him max deadlift 1,042 pounds. He also finished in second place in the Europe's Strongest Man competition that year. Hall has since retired from strongman competitions, but you may have seen him making his acting debut in 2023's Expendables 4.
It's his ring back. That's your bet, man.
Number 9. Leonid Tarenenko. At the 2021 World Weightlifting Championships, Lasha Talakhatsa lifted 267 kilograms in the clean and jerk. This was significant, just breaking the previous record of 266 kilos, a record that had stood since 1988, when the great Soviet Belarusian weightlifter Leonid Tarenenko set it. But wait, there's a lot more that speaks to Tarenenko's strength. For instance, he took home a weightlifting gold medal at the 1980 Olympics in Moscow and a silver at the Barcelona Games 12 years later in 1992. He's no stranger to medals at the World Weightlifting Championships either, with a bronze, a silver, and 2 golds to his name. Number 8. Andy Bolton. Born in Yorkshire, England in 1970, Andy Bolton notably has an impressive 5th place finish at the 2002 Arnold Strongman Classic contest. However, he's primarily known as a powerlifter. In fact, he has 3 first-place finishes at the World Powerlifting Championships of 2000, 2001, and 2008. And he's probably best known to fans as the first man to ever deadlift 1,000 pounds. About a year after he amazed everyone with that feat in 2006, he also set the squat and the World Powerlifting Organization total weight world records. Number 7. Hafþór Júlíus Björnsson.
You're going to fight that?
He isn't just a mountain of a man. He played a man called the Mountain on HBO's Game of Thrones. While he was playing the Mountain on TV, he was also mounting an impressive number of strongman trophies on his mantle. Going through the 56 international and national solo first-place finishes of his career would take too long. But his accomplishments in 2018 kind of put everything in focus. That was when Hafþór became the first man to win the Arnold Strongman Classic, the Europe's Strongest Man, and the World's Strongest Man contests all in the same year. He also won the titles of World's Ultimate Strongman and Iceland's Strongest Man. Talk about domination.
My daughter Tesla, which is 9 years old, she's always here with me. I travel a lot around the world. And Teresa, I love you. This is for you.
Number 6. Louie Uni. Also known as Apollon the Mighty, Louie Uni was born in France in 1862.
His forearms came within just a whisker of being 20 inches themselves.
He had kind of everything for that game, the big hands, the massive forearms.
Given the time period, the accounts of his feats of strength are not always easy to confirm, but there is no doubt about his place in history. Most any conversation about the strongest men ever will come around to Uni. Famous for his grip strength, he performed feats that few others could attempt.
One of the things he did that no one ever matched, he commonly took 4 20-kilo block weights and put them together. So, I mean, this is 175, 80 pounds. He could snatch it to arm's length with one hand.
This included everything from one-handed snatches to an escaping prisoner stage act that saw him bending iron bars at will. In 1913, he even put on a show that had him extending his arms to keep 2 vehicles back, though he was sadly injured in the process. Number 5. Brian Shaw. Imagine winning the World's Strongest Man title and the Arnold Strongman Classic in the same year. Someone who doesn't have to imagine such an accomplishment is Brian Shaw, because he's done it. Twice! When he pulled it off in 2011, it was a first. 4 years later, it remained as impressive.
The final stones. Hafþór's done, he wins the heat, but Brian Shaw has just won the title.
It's no surprise, since if you look at the ranking of most decorated strongmen in 2023, you'll see he sits at an impressive 4th place. If you want further proof of his skill, allow us to direct you to an episode of The Strongest Man in History, where he took less than 45 seconds to completely dominate a Viking ship weighing in at 60,000 pounds.
Brian Shaw literally ran up the hill with that boat.
Did we mention it was on an incline? Number 4, Paul Anderson. This man stood atop the proverbial strength mountain in the 50s and 60s. He won weightlifting gold medals at the 1955 World Championships and at the Melbourne Olympics in 1956. In 1960, he was deemed ineligible to compete at the Olympics. But he wasn't going to let that stop him. Indeed, he showed off his might by matching the record set at those games 3 times in a row. Now, did he really squat 1,200 pounds? There are skeptics to that and some of his other accomplishments. Still, greats like Bruce Wilhelm have called him, quote, the strongest of the strong. Number 3, Bill Kazmaier.
And now Bill Kazmaier, putting his laser-like concentration to the task.
Back in the 80s, Kazmaier dubbed himself the strongest man who ever lived, and would pull off amazing accomplishments in order to live up to said claim.
Legs, the strongest legs, right here. You decide.
But Kazmaier isn't some sort of sideshow strongman. He's the real deal, and truly one of history's greatest men of strength. As of 2023, there have been 2 men who have won 3 consecutive World's Strongest Man titles. He is one of them. He's also set multiple records, like when he bench pressed 660 pounds during an International Powerlifting Federation event. He may no longer hold that record, but it doesn't make it any less remarkable.
Many congratulations for the 3rd year in succession declared the world's strongest man. What does that mean to you?
Well, it reaffirms my idea that I'm the strongest man who ever lived. And I've already forgotten about it, even though it's only 2 minutes ago. Looking forward to next year.
Number 2, Mark Henry. The Arnold Strongman Classic is considered by many to be the hardest strongman competition in the world. Who won the first ever contest in 2002, you may ask? That would be Mark Henry. He excels at the strongman stuff, while also reigning supreme in both power and weightlifting, which took him to the 1992 and 1996 Olympics. Sadly, an injury kept him from reaching his full potential on the latter event stage. However, his performance at the 1996 U.S. National Weightlifting Championships was one for the history books, as was his 5-lift record.
Apparently you're strong enough to twist a spoon, which sounds easy to me. Am I?
Henry also joined the WWE, building a Hall of Fame-worthy career, proving he is not a one-trick pony.
Oh my
Gosh! It's your turn.
It's not just twisted, it's like twisted.
Like, okay.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Vasil Verastyuk. He won Ukraine's Strongest Man 6 times and became a member of parliament in 2021.
A massive amount of weight, as John was saying earlier. Look at the distance he's put between himself and Zavikas. And Verastyuk is finished.
Magnus Ver Magnusson. He won 4 World's Strongest Man golds in the 90s, 3 of which were in a row.
Perfect technique with the legs first and then the back. He's got it again.
Mariusz Pudzianowski. His 5 World's Strongest Man and 6 Europe's Strongest Man wins speak for themselves.
Look at the legs on that man. Well, he's just like a prime racehorse, isn't he? Bristling with muscle.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Žydrūnas Savickas. In 1989, a teenage Žydrūnas Savickas watched a strongman competition and decided he wanted to do that. It only took a few years before he began competing and building what would become perhaps the greatest strongman career of all time.
The clock is ticking away still. It's going to be close. So close. Oh, just under.
We don't have time to get into every single world record he set, but we will say there are more than 70 of them. And if you want to talk about competitions, all you have to do is look at his 4 World's Strongest Man titles or his 8 Arnold Strongman Classic wins. Let's also not forget his multiple first-place finishes in the Strongman Champions League competition circuit. There's no heavy lifting required to leave us a comment, so go ahead and let us know what you think below.
That was real close to 1,000 pounds. I'll be doing that in the near future.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.